I would first start off by saying that we have two other team members in the crowd, so if you have any questions in Turkish or English, go ahead. Ali, who is my partner, business partner, and Duygu, who is in charge of marketing and projects. She's sitting there. Okay, so what I will do is that I will start off first to talk about what is crowdfunding. But before I do that, I would like to ask, does everyone here know about crowdfunding? Okay, so I would say 50% plus. But I still will just start off briefly what it is. Crowdfunding, as you might guess by the name, is literally small or big contributions to a specific project. Globally, today, there are different verticals, different crowdfunding platforms. FonGoGo is one, we have a rewards-based crowdfunding platform. I will talk a little bit more about that later. Then we have equity crowdfunding platforms, we have donation crowdfunding platforms, we have royalty crowdfunding platforms, and niche crowdfunding platforms. So different kinds. And then I will talk a little bit about crowdfunding history. It's actually not new per se. In 1885, the first crowdfunding campaign was run by Joseph Stiglitz, Joseph's magazine, the New York World. 250,000 US dollars, equal to 6 million today, US dollars, were crowdfunded by 160,000 people. It was a campaign to raise funds for the pedestal of the Statue of Liberty. So this is in 1885, we have 160,000 people contributed small and large funds for a campaign to raise the funding for the pedestal of the Statue of Liberty. First online crowdfunding campaign was in 1997. It was a British rock band that wanted to raise funds for their tour to the US. And they raised 60,000 US dollars through creating their own campaign online, asking their fans to contribute. So crowdfunding. Online crowdfunding platforms like FonGoGo has been in existence since 2003. Quite new, but it's actually not until in the last 5 years where crowdfunding has been really sort of hot. It's new, it's considered new, and it's very new in Turkey still. The educational gap is wide, and I hope that you will be part of spreading the word of crowdfunding and understand how it can be used in different ways. So 5 years only. Huge market already. It was 5.1 billion US dollars in last year. It's estimated to be 9 billion US dollars this year. There are more than 1,000 crowdfunding platforms. The biggest crowdfunding campaign that has been raised to date was in the US by Kickstarter, and it was a campaign for consumer good, let's say. More than 10 billion US dollars were raised through the crowd. Basically, the crowd pre-purchasing this product. 246 million US dollars has been invested into crowdfunding platforms already. So new markets, big numbers. Okay, so FonGoGo. What is FonGoGo? It's a localized, rewards-based crowdfunding platform. It's currently in Turkish only. It's a registered company in Turkey, but we have the vision to enter the region and also to explore equity crowdfunding when this is fully legal and understood in these markets. FonGoGo is also inclusive. What do we mean with inclusive? FonGoGo is working with everyone from individuals who have new innovative ideas to companies who want to perhaps test their products or services, to NGOs who have specific projects which they would like to raise funds for and create awareness for. Also, when I say inclusive, Another thing is that we're supporting all types of projects. So it could be innovative ideas, it could be early startups, it could be a playground for children with leukemia, it could be film projects, etc. So here's a basic slide of how it works. I see it didn't come up very well here, so I will just continue, and then I just hope that we go into FonGoGo those comments there. Also the slide looks interesting, but I will still talk about it. We have succeeded with the largest crowdfunding campaign in Turkey, with a Turkish platform. It was a film project. So that's one of our, we have, up to date, we have raised funds for about 100,000 Turkish lira. And we have different, I mentioned here, all or nothing or keep it all projects. So there's two types of projects. All or nothing is basically when a crowdfunder, the owner of the campaign, has a funding goal. Every campaign owner has a funding goal. And when that's reached, they will receive their funds. If it's keep it all, it's typically what we do for NGOs. All the funds will be kept, regardless if the funding goal has been reached or not. And we talk about 43% success rate of these campaigns that are being presented. This is actually by global standard average, and so seeing this, like 100% of the campaigns are not successful. Why? Well, it could be different reasons, but people come in and contribute with funds for different reasons. It starts with family and friends who want to support, and typically you say that the first batch is family and friends who support the project. The second part could be because people are interested in actual product or service, really support the idea. And then the third part, why people may or may not contribute, has to do with the campaign owner also, if he or she is running an active campaign. So it takes sort of training to run the campaign. It's important to share, spread the news with family and friends, through social media, through press, to various collaborations. And only creativity is the limitations. We also work with various partners, so I believe very much that this is not FonGoGo's own game. It's working with people like you and also other individuals, specifically in startup communities. So we work with everything from universities to incubation centers, acceleration centers, to angel networks, etc. Here are some of them. So now we move on from FonGoGo. One thing that I'm typically highlighting is that crowdfunding is more than fundraising. It has different components. It depends on what the project owner coming in with a project, presenting a project on FonGoGo wants. Fundraising is the typical reason why people submit a project on FonGoGo. And by the way, we create all the projects. So everyone can submit projects online, but not all the projects will be launched. We do various checks just for sort of risk management. So crowdfunding, so fundraising one thing, and the second part is that it's proof of concept. It's market research of kinds. If you, for example, have a prototype of a project and you would like to test it, crowdfunding is a great solution. It's a way to see if people are actually able to part from the money in order to get what you're offering before you have mass-produced something. So it saves the project owner, the aspiring entrepreneur perhaps, it saves both time and money. So I would also like to highlight, just because a campaign is not successful, in itself is not a failure. It could be that this project needs some more time in order to develop further. It could be that the product or service is not in demand. It could be that the entrepreneur, the aspiring entrepreneur, is not ready to be an entrepreneur. Because, let's face it, it's very hard work. And if you can't proceed with the first step of actually running a crowdfunding campaign, it will get harder. And it's part of an entrepreneur owner's job to constantly sell what he or she is doing. The third part, which I include here, is awareness building. It's a form of bringing awareness to a project, conduct marketing, or actually pre-sell a project. So you can also see crowdfunding as a way of sort of an e-commerce platform where you can present your project in a different way. And I think this is also another thing. It's not the usual Amazon.com and you see the product description, but you know nothing about the people who are actually behind it. And specifically, of course, crowdfunding is valuable for the type of film projects, for example, when it even means more who is behind it. It's part of marketing, etc. So these are the things. The biggest message I want to, everyone to sort of think about is that crowdfunding is more than fundraising. It has all of these other components, and it really depends on the campaign owner, what he or she or they want to get out of it. Okay, so this became a bit crowded, this slide. Crowdfunding and corporations, there are many examples globally, and I jump to the last part here where you see big companies like Cisco, Domino's, Google, IBM, Vodafone, Philips, etc., etc. have globally already been part of crowdfunding in different ways. So these are just some examples, and there are many, many more ideas, and we're more than happy to speak specifically with corporates about ideas how crowdfunding can be leveraged and if there are opportunities for white label solutions, etc. So the first point here is that crowdfunding is in some ways an additional value add when it comes to branding and corporate social responsibilities. So to give an example, let's say a company is dedicating a large part of the budget on corporate social responsibility, focusing on blind individuals, for example. Then this company and FonGoGo or a crowdfunding platform can work together with that company and select incoming projects that are related to that. Where you think the people who are actually going to be part of this campaign, meaning the project owner, but more importantly the crowd that is attracted to this specific project. So this, ways to do that is for a company, for example, to match. So on our project detail page, you can have I'm picking this any company now. Let's say Unilever. Let's say they want to do a work with blind people CSR project. And so you can see on the project detail page, you will see the brand of the company. The Unilever could then spread the news through their press releases. They can say that we are actively supporting this project if the crowd first buys into it. So if you create a project now, so let's say it's 100,000 Turkish lira that is needed to be a specific project that is related to blind individuals. And then if 50% is raised, the company will then match it. And this is making headline news. It makes it more attractive for the crowd that also already understand that the company is being part of it. It's collaboration. It's a way to make corporate social responsibility more relevant and also to create activities. And branding, same thing. I can give it a real example of a company in Latin America. Actually, this was Coca-Cola. They introduced a new water, sustainable water, let's say. X percentage of the profit went to X% of the profit for the bottle of water goes to clean water in developing countries. So this was a new thing, and Coca-Cola wanted to introduce this. And of course, their target market is sort of people who cares, people who are willing and who cares for paying a little bit more money for this product, for this bottle of water. So Coca-Cola went to a big crowdfunding platform in Latin America and said, can you present to us projects where where your target market is assumed to be, you know, our target market. So that's so they did that, and they also matched this project. So that was an example of branding, and I mean they did it under the umbrella of supporting, you know, like-minded individuals' activities. And at the same time, they had the opportunity to present the new bottle of water and the brand on this project page and through media, etc. I will just quickly run through the other two points here: innovation and futuristic marketing. So, futuristic marketing is similar to what I actually discussed, but innovation, crowdfunding can be leveraged for innovation both internally. IBM did it. They created a project. They gave their employees in certain departments a certain amount and said, you can use this money to contribute to this selection of projects, and the projects were created by anyone who wanted to do that in IBM. And then basically, you know, one project got the most contribution and therefore won, and they realized this project. So that's how you can use it internally. But what I believe is even bigger is to do it externally, and it also could be a way for companies to manage risks better. Again, take Unilever as an example. This is a fictional example where they want to have individuals from outside of the company come up with great ideas, and they can match the project. So they take less risks and they save time. And so now I've gone through these points quickly, and I think I will actually end it. I had one more on CSR, but I will end it here because I ran out of time. Again, if you have any questions afterwards, please contact Ali or Duygu, Turkish or English. I'm afraid that my Turkish is a bit rusty. So that's it, and thank you for listening.